Imagine going from being one of the most beloved footballers in the world to serving time in one of South America's most dangerous prisons. That's the story of Ronaldinho, an icon who dazzled millions with his creativity, skill, and infectious smile. But behind the joy and freedom he displayed on the pitch, there was one darker side to his life. A series of choices that led him from the heights of fame to the depths of legal trouble. Join us as we explore dramatic events around his career leading to his downfall. Ready? Let's journey back to his early days. Ronaldinho was born Ronaldo de Assis Moreira in Porto Alegre, Brazil in 1980. His love for football was inherited from his father, a former amateur player, and his older brother, Roberto, a professional who was on the verge of stardom before a knee injury ended his career. Ronaldinho didn't want to just follow in his family's footsteps. He wanted to redefine what it meant to be a footballer. As a child, Ronaldinho's skill on the ball was something special, even in Brazil, where football is king. His journey began on the streets and the futsal courts, where he honed his close control, creativity, and flair. It didn't take long for scouts to notice this young prodigy at Grêmio's youth academy. At 17, he broke into Grêmio's first team. It was in 1999, during a Copa Libertadores match, that Ronaldinho first showed the world his genius. He toyed with defenders, dancing around them with ease, and immediately drew attention from top European clubs. But the defining moment of his early career came with his call-up to the Brazil's national team. In 2002, at the age of 22, Ronaldinho stepped onto the football's biggest stage, the FIFA World Cup. Brazil, already boasting legends like Ronaldo and Rivaldo, had yet another dazzling talent in their ranks. Ronaldinho was an integral part of the squad, and the world watched in awe as he made history with one of the most audacious goals ever. That free kick against England that caught David Seaman off guard from 40 yards out. This moment solidified Ronaldinho as a global superstar. Brazil lifted their 5th World Cup trophy. Europe's top clubs clamored for his signature, but it was Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, that managed to lure him to the French capital in 2001. However, his time in Paris was marked by inconsistency. While he shone in some games, scoring outrageous goals and making defenders look ordinary, Ronaldinho's off-field behavior became an issue. He was known more for his nightlife and lack of discipline than for his dedication on the training ground. PSG grew frustrated, but there was no denying his talent. And then in 2003, the call from Barcelona came. A new chapter was about to begin. Ronaldinho's move to Barcelona was the turning point of his career. He instantly lit up La Liga, dazzling fans with his skill, trickery, and vision. He didn't just play football, he performed, turning every match into a spectacle. Barca fans adored him, and even the rivals couldn't help but admire his genius. In fact, after one particularly brilliant performance at the Santiago Bernabeu, Real Madrid fans gave Ronaldinho a standing ovation, a moment etched in football history. Between 2003 and 2006, Ronaldinho won nearly every accolade possible. He guided Barcelona to 2 La Liga titles and the UEFA Champions League in 2006, and he was awarded the Ballon d'Or in 2005. At his peak, Ronaldinho was untouchable, a player who could turn a game on its head in an instant with a cheeky nutmeg, a no-look pass, or a thunderous strike. He made football fun, and his infectious smile mirrored the joy he brought to the pitch. But behind the scenes, cracks were starting to appear. His commitment to training was wavering, and his love for the party scene in Barcelona was taking its toll. In the eyes of his teammates and coaches, Ronaldinho's off-pitch lifestyle was beginning to overshadow his on-field brilliance. By 2007, the warning signs were becoming impossible to ignore. Injuries began to plague Ronaldinho, but it was his lack of fitness and declining form that raised the biggest concerns. He could still produce magic in moments, but the consistency that had once made him the best in the world was fading. His legendary status at Barcelona wasn't enough to save him when Pep Guardiola took over as head coach in 2008. Guardiola had a vision for Barcelona, a vision that demanded discipline, focus, and hard work. Ronaldinho's carefree attitude didn't fit into this new regime. And so, after 5 unforgettable seasons, Barcelona said goodbye to their talisman. Ronaldinho was sold to AC Milan, a move that was seen by many as his last chance to reclaim his form and prolong his career at the top level. At AC Milan, the world hoped to see Ronaldinho return to his best, and for a brief period, he seemed to find some of his old magic. His creativity and vision were still intact, and he helped Milan secure a top 3 finish in Serie A. There were moments where he looked like the Ronaldinho of old, but those moments were few and far between. Once again, his off-the-pitch behavior caught up with him. Despite flashes of brilliance, Ronaldinho's form never reached the heights of his Barcelona days. His fitness declined, and Milan became increasingly frustrated with his lack of professionalism. Eventually, they decided to cut ties. In 2011, Ronaldinho returned to Brazil, signing for Flamengo. Again, it was a homecoming that many hoped would reignite his career. Back in Brazil, Ronaldinho joined Flamengo amid much fanfare. Expectations were high, and for a while, Ronaldinho delivered. But soon, the same problems that haunted him in Europe resurfaced. His focus on football wavered as he indulged in Brazil's vibrant nightlife. His contract with Flamengo allowed him regular time off to party, which was telling of where his priorities lay. Things soured quickly when Flamengo couldn't afford to pay his wages, and Ronaldinho left in acrimonious circumstances. He then moved to Atlético Mineiro, where he briefly found form again, leading the club to its first Copa Libertadores title in 2013. For a fleeting moment, it seemed like a fairy tale comeback, but it didn't last. Injuries and inconsistent performances once again dragged him down. After his final footballing years, Ronaldinho's life took a darker turn. In 2019, he was embroiled in a legal battle in Brazil over environmental violations after building on protected land. He was fined heavily, and when he failed to pay, the authorities seized his passport. But Ronaldinho didn't stay out of trouble. In 2020, he and his brother were arrested in Paraguay for attempting to enter the country using fake passports. Ronaldinho, the once great footballing icon, found himself locked in a Paraguayan prison. It was a surreal and tragic moment for fans who had grown up idolizing him. Although he was released after several months, his fall from grace was complete. Ronaldinho's story is one of the greatest what-ifs in football history. At his peak, he was untouchable, arguably the most gifted player to ever set foot on the pitch. But for all his talent, Ronaldinho couldn't escape the consequences of his decisions. He didn't just play football, he lived life with the same freedom and recklessness he displayed on the pitch. And in the end, that's what brought him down. He remains a legend, but his career is a reminder that even the brightest stars can burn out when the passion fades and discipline is lost.